A very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to fifth day of Bharat Nutrition Week. I'm your host Nikki Gupta, CEO of Teamwork Communications Group, India's leading health-focused communication firm with several award-winning campaigns to its credit. It's my privilege to host the second edition of Good Food Talk Show, second year in a row. So today's session is all about the great Indian science of eating right, the burden of diseases and the health risk it brings make one question: is our Indian diet really healthy? So what really hurts our nutrient quotient? Our staple diet consists of roti, dal, paneer, chutney, beans, and so on, and various kind of chicken and the meats that we eat. So these can vary from region to region with the addition of several other components. However, according to the Lenson report, an average Indian eat more carbohydrates, less protein, both animal and plant-based, less fruits and vegetables. They also tend to eat much more sugar and processed food than what is recommended. So we are what we eat and we eat what we get, but we do not get what we need. So this is a big question for the today's panelist, and what we get from our food system provides. So the needs of the hour is to build a world where a safe and nutritious food is available for everyone. And everywhere requires transformations of the food systems. Today in our show, the great Indian science of eating right, we will try and find it out every conflicting information on food, weight loss, fats, and so on. Our ancient wisdom on what we eat and how much to eat, when to eat, how to stay healthy, still food relevance in the current times. So let me introduce quickly our esteemed panelists. Today we have Kavita Devgan with us. She's the author of four bestsellers. First of the release was Don't Diet, 50 Habits of Thin People in 2016. Then came on Ultimate Grandmothers, Hacks. And her third book is Fix It with Food, was released last year. And yesterday, her latest book was The Don't Diet Plan was launched. She is a well-known health writer, columnist, and she has been practicing as a weight management and well-being consultant. Specialization in holistic wellness for last 25 years with several thousands of successful clients. So welcome, Kavita.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much.
We have Chiranjeev Chhabra with us. Dr. Chiranjeev Chhabra is a veteran dermatologist. She's one of the leading dermatologists in India. She has obtained her MBBS post-graduation degree in dermatology and laparoscopy from Maulana Azad Medical College. She treats a wide range of skin conditions and diseases. She has also specialized in cosmetic dermatology and the laser medicine. She has been practicing in the field since 1997. So welcome, Dr. Chiranjeev. We have Anjali Sinha with us. Anjali is an extremely passionate fitness coach who believes in maximizing the health benefits of exercising by following a healthy diet and lifestyle. She has an American Council exercise certified coach and recently got awarded in the category of 101 most fabulous coaching leaders in India 2020 by World HRD Congress. She's a well-known fitness coach, provides online coaching also. So welcome, Anjali. We have Simran.
Thank you so much, Mani. Thank you for having me here.
We have Simran Khosla with us. So Simran is the founder and CEO of But Like an Apricot, an online fitness coaching diet consultancy platform that seeks to transform India into a healthier country by breaking the myths of dieting and making people more aware on the benefits of leading healthy lifestyle. She has over 2,000 clients in 33 countries. So welcome, Simran. I'm glad you all take time out for being part of the show. We have too many health and the don't diet fitness advocates here. I would like to know how to get the right nutrients while don't dieting. So I would like to start from Kavita only. So Kavita, how healthy is Indian food, and how can we ensure that we are eating right and getting the right nutrients?
Nikki, this is something I love to talk about, so which is why I just loved it when you put me on this panel. This is what I write about all the time. You won't be able to stop me when I start.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. The Indian cuisine is one of the traditional one. I'm not talking about how we eat today. That's not the original traditional Indian cuisine. I'm talking about how our grandmothers used to eat, literally. So that's the Indian food I'm talking about. So take everything I say in that context. This is the most balanced cuisine that we have around. If you look at a thali, the portion control is automatic. Everything is there in just the right proportions. There is huge variety. That is the second rule of eating, right? First is portion control. Second is variety. So the thali takes care of that. There is a bit of everything there. Fourth is ensuring that all your macronutrients are covered. Again, the traditional way of eating ensured that there was some grain, some protein, some good fat. Ghee was always a part of the thali and the regular, meals. And some fiber. A lot of seasonal vegetables were always part of every meal in a traditional household. So if we keep following the original traditional way of eating, the Indian cuisine, we will probably never ever go wrong. Because like I said, it follows all the broad basic rules that we do need to follow, that modern nutrition science tells us to follow. Something that I guess our ancestors followed by logic or common sense. We did not give them credit then because they did not have studies and research to prove why they were eating the way they were eating. But they were doing something really right. And somehow along the way, unfortunately, over the last decade or two, maybe even a little more, 25 years or something, we just let go of all those good habits. And instead of taking on the good habits from West, there are a lot of good habits in Western cuisines also, so many of them, Mediterranean and French, all of them picked up all the wrong habits from the West. So we let go of our good and picked up only the bad. So the amalgamation of habits or the cuisine that we're eating today is probably not what I would say is the right Indian diet. So if you follow it, the way your grandmom ate, is what I'm trying to say. That is how you will be able to ensure complete nutrition for your body.
So very good points, covered by you, Kavita. I would like to know how many of us get that kind of a thali?
You don't have to get that kind of thali. You don't. Because it's not possible to cook 10 things anymore. You don't have cooks in the house. But again, like I mentioned, if you follow just the 4 basic rules that they followed, variety, portion control, seasonal foods, and making sure that there is enough fiber in the diet. And it is home cooked. Again, I would like to add the 5th one. You have covered all the bases. And these are all very easily done today, Nikki, as well.
Right, Kavita. But when we talk about variety, half of the Indian people don't get food, the basic food that they need. And if I'm talking about the rich who can afford, all variety of foods, they don't even eat variety of food. And sometimes they are not aware. And if they are aware also, they don't add. So this is the 5th day and we have been discussing about it. But what kind of a micronutrients we should add in our daily diet?
It's really good if people can get into the scope of micronutrients in their diet, because I personally, my observation is that people are not even clear about the macronutrients right now. People don't look beyond carbohydrates. That's the only macronutrient people seem to know about. That's the obsession there everywhere.
I completely
people need to understand that there is protein, which is equally important. There is good fats, which is equally important. There is fiber, which is, again, very, very important. And, of course, vitamins and minerals. So all of these macronutrients first need to be covered. Once people manage to get this balance right, then, of course, you need to move on to micronutrients. The major ones that we need to focus on, especially if you're talking about women, are iron, calcium, and also vitamin D and folic acid. So these are the ones in particular, I feel that we need to focus on in terms of micronutrients. And again, obsession is not good. Who's going to sit and calculate or to make a list of these are the iron-rich foods or these are the calcium-rich foods? If you just eat seasonal and if you eat foods by rotation, do not. I know so many people who eat you can count on your fingertips how many sabzis they eat. I'm given a list of, I eat gobi, I eat matar, and I eat aloo. That is not going to cover all your micronutrients for you. So you need to ensure that you eat all fruits and vegetables by rotation, at least 8 to 10 of them. I'm not saying don't eat something that you completely despise, but try and include as many fruits and vegetables that you can manage in your diet, and your micronutrients will, trust me, take care of themselves.
Thanks, Kavita. I would like to go to Chiranjeev, Dr. Chabda, and would like to know her thought. What is the relation between science and healthy eating habits in the Indian tradition? And do you really think that Indian food is really healthy?
So hi Nikki and hi girls, Simran, Kavita, Himani, Anjuri and Mr. Reddy. This topic is very interesting, and I feel it's the most of us know a lot of stuff. At least Indian people have a lot of knowledge. Even a lay person has knowledge, but we don't follow it. Nikki, answering the question that is Indian diet, what I think about it, yes, I agree with Kavita. It is one of the most healthiest diets. And luckily, we have so many states, and each state has its own cuisine. And each cuisine is curated very scientifically over the years. Indian diet is more of an art. Like if you see there's so many spices that are put, each spice has a value to it. It does something for our digestion. It's very healthy. Yes, I do agree totally. But I also feel that in this lifestyle, in the changing lifestyle scenarios, work cultures, we are not able to follow all this. And because practically it's not possible for us, the focus on a healthy diet has gone away. The priority is like to fill our stomach up with nutritious food. Of course, we have it at the back of our mind, but everything is around work. Like, in 10 minutes, I'm going to fit this, my meal. In another 10 minutes, I'm going to fit this. To keep active, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. So I feel that we are dictating our diet, our nutrition, depending upon the work. We do not give it enough priority or importance. And we fit everything according to another priority of us, which we feel is just our work life. So that's one thing. Now, if you ask me about the diet, I am a trained allopathic doctor. So my training in nutrition is according to Western medicine. Okay, so as a Western medicine doctor, we are not taught about Indian medical diet, but we are in India and we have learned from our grandparents. And definitely, I have learned from my own experience growing up and the problems that I have faced over a period of time, plus solving problems for my patients also. I have come to the conclusion that if I try to understand science, that is medical science, with our Indian food habits, what I have understood is that there is something called a circadian rhythm. That is, our body follows a certain clock. And the body gets up at a certain time. We have a gland in our body called the pituitary gland, which is here, and the hypothalamus. And they secrete their workload, all their secretions at a particular time in the morning, which is actually anytime between 5 and 6 in the morning. And all these secretions are going to be dictating how our different body organs are functioning during the day and how our metabolism is going to happen during the day, whether it is the activity of our thyroid gland, our sex hormones, our digestion hormones, our growth hormones, our urinary tract, our kidneys. So all these organs are under the influence of all the secretions which are being secreted from here. So now if we think the circadian rhythm of the body, which is the allopathic part of the science, and then we think that what happens is how should we structure our diet? I find that we should eat as animals do, with sunrise and sunset. So if in your country, in my country at this time, if sun is rising at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, my food should finish by 5:30, 6 in the evening. So that's actually the best way of eating. Plus, the food needs to be divided. Like the first 3 hours of our getting up, we should have more of not very dense diet, more of liquids, not heavy diet, some nuts. And the last 1.5, 2 hours again should be lighter diet. And in between, those 6 hours in between is when we can eat everything that we wish to eat. Of course, a balanced diet. So I find that our Indian diet, Indian way of life, I would say, not the diet, dictates very much how we were eating in the past, and we were healthy. Now, suppose Dr. Kavita Devgan, she said that, like we should have portions. Yes, I do agree with whatever she's saying. Now, if I think of it, I don't want to introduce something, but the word intermittent diet people are following these days actually is not anything. It's just an extension of that Indian thought process, how we used to eat in the past. Like, certain hours we were eating, and we were eating more during the time when we were working more. We were more physically active and less at the time when we were less physically active. So I find that the Indian diet is very scientific. It is goes with the Western science, but what happens is that we have to make our nutrition our priority, because nobody else is going to do that for us. And we practically, I feel most of us, we are in this field of health and nutrition, so we know. But besides us also, if you talk to anybody in, say, Delhi, I'm in Delhi, or any lady in my group, they would definitely know 60 to 70% of what they have to do correct. It's just that we don't follow it.
I agree completely with you, Dr. Chhabra. Simran, I would like to know how to take the control back what you eat. And as Dr. Chhabra mentioned that, we have been following the same practices which we used to follow, ancient time. So do you think that the way we are consuming food right now, we are going back?
Okay, so, coming from a generation who is, doing all sort of things. So we are busy, we are, so many things that we're doing at the same time. And talking about eating food, completing it by 7 p.m. or, not.
See, I think the pandemic has scared people a lot. With Kavita, I totally don't agree with her, because a lot of people have put on a lot of weight also during the pandemic. And a lot of my patients come to me and they say, they put on a lot of weight. And then there are again a lot of people who have become very healthy also. So it's like a mixed bag. But yes, the fear factor has instilled people who, healthy habits in some people, but human memory is very short, When we go to a cremation and when we come out, we talk good things, and soon after we forget all those good things. So I really don't know how long it will last. And as you said, another pandemic will come. But anyway, it's not my opinion on what I feel about the pandemic, but I find that, yes, during this time, I just want to share, like Nikki had said, I am a dermatologist and I primarily deal with skin diseases and aesthetics, like how to make a person look more beautiful, more healthy, hair better, body better, and wellness. But during this time, we converted all our facilities. We done 10 clinics in Delhi into teleconsultation centers for COVID patients, for mild to moderate, so that they should not need, especially during the second COVID phase, so that they would not deteriorate and they would not need oxygen or hospitalization. And this time during this period, I went through a lot of grief, because I was dealing with all these patients, and you do get attached to people, I find that, yes, I concentrated a lot on their immunity, because medicines, we were dealing with medication which doctors thought were to be given. But then, as you know, COVID put everybody out of, on the back foot. So I dealt with a lot of diet and lot of nutrition. We had special diets for the COVID patients, and then post-COVID also in the recovery period for 2 months, we were giving special diets so they don't have these complications. Now, Nikki, one thing which I must share with you is, and girls, is that post-COVID, I'm still seeing patients 3 months, 4 months later where people are suffering from severe hair loss, weakness, lack of energy, and some people are also having a little bit of memory, sort of little confusion and all, but majorly people come to me with hair loss, and actually people have lost 50% of their hair. Like actually you see bald patches, and initially it was difficult for me to believe because this person would say, I went to the salon and my hairdresser washed my hair and doctor, 50% of it fell off. 50%. And it was difficult for me to believe, but when I actually saw, it's a reality. I've seen people who are actually bald. So where nutrition, now I don't have, there are no magic medicines to treat this kind of a hair fall. We've never seen this kind of a sudden hair fall with a sudden disease like this before. So I'm treating them with nutrition and a high protein diet, vitamins, proteins, minerals, green vegetables, fruits and nuts, such diet. And yes, whole grain cereal, grains and cereals. And I find that people are responding within 1 month, within 4 to 6 weeks of corrective diet, the hair is sort of stopping to fall and it started to come back. So I'm treating it primarily with diet. And yes, of course, some supplements, which I give them, of course. But so all you guys are heavily into nutrition and life coaches. And I'm sure you also must be meeting people with similar issues.
Absolutely. It's a big, big issue. Yeah. This hair problem has scared people excessively, And you're right. Changing your diet is frankly the best course of action to tackle this issue. And that it is showing results. Absolutely.
So, I want to share with you one thing. I treat a lot of patients with urticaria. Okay. And I've been treating urticaria for now more than 20 years. And how I started actually getting a good response with urticaria along with the medication was I changed their morning dietary regime, what they would eat in their breakfasts. I work on their breakfasts. I give them whole grains. I give them a certain type of a diet which will absorb all the toxins which are released in the body, which triggers the urticaria. And that is when I started finding success in treating such patients. So I'm really inspired, though I was trained to treat diseases only, but I'm really inspired, and hats off to you guys who treat people, who change lifestyles and the lives of people. I mean, I think you people must be doing it much more than me. It's very inspirational.
So, Dr. Chhabra, thank you for amazing inputs. I would definitely like to know more on the diet part, but I'll first ask some questions to Simran and come back to you again. So, Simran, Dr. Chhabra mentioned about obesity, and that's we have seen in a lot of places. In fact, there are researches also. 30 to 40% obesity has increased during the pandemic time. So, I'm sure since a lifestyle coach, you must also have seen similar kind of behavior change and the problems. What do you say about it? What kind of age group that you have seen during this time? Obesity, and what kind of problems pandemic related you consulted?
Okay, firstly, in the first few months, to be honest, last year, people were just enjoying their time for I think 2-3 months, because they didn't know that if it will continue for a very long time, and we all did, but I, obviously being into this profession, I was working out regularly at home, I was doing my own thing. But the thing that changed in the first 3 months was that we were not able to order from outside or go outside. So people immediately switched to having more of homemade food. But what we were doing, we were just getting stuff from grocery stores, baking cakes or pizzas. I think everyone did that in this lockdown. But the weight increase didn't happen in that time, the first 2-3 months. What happened after that, when it continued for long, and ordering apps opened up, and people started ordering from outside and reduce the workout, because उन्हें लगता है जिम नहीं जा रहे हैं तो खाना भी अच्छा खा के क्या फायदा, let's just eat.
Why does hair fall happen? Because during COVID, body tries to reserve its oxygen supply. So what it does is it takes the oxygen away from the hair roots and gives the oxygen to the internal organs and the nutrition to the internal organs. As you know, that there is a possibility of the oxygen falling in the body. So body treats hair as something which is a vestigial organ, which is not required for survival. So once that oxygen is taken away from the hair, and then maybe once you recover, it goes back. But that period of less nutrition, which is at least about 2-3 weeks, okay, that kills the hair roots or slows them, or they start dwindling and they start falling only maybe after 4 or 5 weeks or so. Now, in my opinion, basically what is it that we need to do is we just need to support the body like this with just good nutrition. And by good nutrition, we mean that we should have very high protein, like in the range of 1.5 to 2 gram per kg body weight of protein. For example, a 60 kg girl should have about more than 100 grams of protein, like you as nutritionists should give them, so that that protein, extra protein, is used to build the keratin, build the collagen, build the hair roots. And yes, of course, improving the circulation of the scalp is very good. We can't massage the hair so vigorously because the roots are weak. So, like doing something like yoga, headstands, if they can do, not headstands, is very tough to do. But inversions, the dog pose, or the like all inversion poses are good to get the circulation to the scalp. So once you start doing that, and maybe 4 weeks of good nutrition, then you can start the massages or the spas or whatever sort of you want to tell them to do.
Exactly. I started, because everyone's scared, like what to do. I actually did oil my hair, and, I thought that, that will give nutrition. But that was the worst thing that I did to my hair because it came out more. So, I stopped oiling my hair, stopped giving it massage. What I did, I just focused on nutrition. I told myself to be a little patient because this is something that we have faced and it's very new to our body. That COVID was very new to our body. We didn't know like how to, fight it. And the body had already gone through a lot. So I just thought that I'll, relax for a while and not stress about it, because the more you stress about hair fall, the more you, see it in your hands, the hair falling out. So, that's something that I did wrong. And obviously I would want to tell everyone who's watching that don't massage your hair and don't put oil on a regular basis till the time your hair is falling out.
Yes, absolutely. I think hair is one thing that I can keep discussing and I don't mind it. Okay, so I'm coming back to our main discussion. So, Anjali, my next question is for you. Do you really think that Indians are still long way away from ideal diet that we look for? Because what we need, I'm again coming back to my questions, because as we are discussing, what kind of a protein that we need, we don't consume that. It's not just about the protein, but do you still think the way boiled food is more important for us rather than food loaded with the spices?
No, I would disagree to that, because we need all kinds of macronutrients as well as micronutrients, as I said. So it's not necessary to have bland, non-spiced or boiled food which is not at all cooked with maybe a 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil even. But I would say look for a balanced meal, look for the protein content in your diet. With respect to a healthy body or a balanced diet, suppose a person weighs around 50 kgs, they should be ideally having at least, even if their physical activity is very less, at least there should be 1 to 1.3 grams of the body weight which they are having. That is, say, suppose if you're 50 kgs, they should ideally be having at least 50 grams of proteins in their diet. So if somebody is not having that 1 to 1.3 grams of protein in their diet, definitely it's not a balanced diet. With respect to fats and carbohydrates, the intake and the consumption and how the body reacts to it, that is how people balance it out. So for some people, fat works as a primary source of fuel along with carbohydrates, and they need more fats in their diet. For some people, they look for the balanced meal of protein thing, and apart from that, they take a lot of carbohydrates to gain weight or something. So it depends upon body. Back to your question, wherein you asked if we Indians are a long way from reaching the balanced diet kind of thing. I would say it really starts from our homes. Whenever if we want to make the change, we have to be the change. We have to start eating healthy. We have to ask our parents if they are not going through a healthy meal or a healthy diet plan. We have to ask them to consume the right amount or the adequate amount of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and everything. Boiling food is not the solution. Consuming unprocessed food, right amount of proteins, right amount of carbohydrates, a right amount of and the right kind of fat. I mean, as Simran mentioned, ghee was something which we used to have, our ancestors used to have. It was really healthy. It was unprocessed. It was healthy. It had the right amount of HDL in it. It had no cholesterol or no bad cholesterol in it. So we have to stick to our basics and roots which our ancestors used to follow. Boiling a food won't be a solution. Cutting out protein or cutting out fats or cutting out carbohydrates.
ऐसे हम सब diet पे हैं.
Exactly.
All on diet. You know, explain what you mean by hum diet.
We are always on diet.
True.
Okay, so Simran mentioned about fasting. Is fasting a good habit?
Who are you asking?
I would request Dr. Chhabra to answer.
Okay, so I will. Okay, there are two concepts. I'm going to answer it in two ways.
Yeah, sure.
And both are contradictory to each other.
Okay.
I'm going to contradict myself. So the first answer is that as a child growing up, I grew up with the belief that हमें अपने शरीर को तंग नहीं करना चाहिए. तो अगर हमें, in India we fast because of religious reasons.
Anjali, could you keep yourself on mute? Yeah, thank you.
I felt that my belief was that we should not fast just because I want to please God, so I have to fast, okay? So I did not believe in the concept of fasting, and I was very against fasting because the very fact that I was rebelling against the idea that we are fasting in India because of some ye fast hai, ye iska vart hai. So that is, I was totally against. But then as I grew up and as I studied more, I don't believe in very long fasts like 2 days, 3 days or something like that. But I do believe that the body needs a period of time when it is not being, something is being put inside the body because it has to digest, it has to heal, it has to clear, it has to remove toxins. So there should be periods of a time when you're not, at least 12 hours in a day there should be, when you're not eating anything. So I believe that when you're not eating, you're not completely eating. And when you're eating, you're eating. But if you ask me, should somebody fast once a week, like a total fast for 24-hour fast or something like that? I don't believe in that. I believe that the fast should maximum go to 12 to 16 hours at the maximum. And I believe there are other stalwarts who can answer this for me.
I'll ask Kavita this question, or anybody else wants to take up? Kavita, you're on.
I'll take up after Kavita. I'll take up after Kavita.
Okay, Kavita, please.
Yeah, so I'm very clear on fasting. I think it's a very good habit to practice once in a while, but only if it agrees with your body. Every body is very different. It's very individual. For example, I can't fast. My body cannot handle it, So I don't force myself to fast. I handle my health. There are multiple other tools. Fasting is one tool which you can use to strengthen your health. So, but if you can fast, especially if you are somebody who do not manage to eat properly every day, usually because of whatever stresses you have in life or lifestyle that you lead, then it can definitely help, as Dr. Chhabra mentioned, cleanse your system. So if you make a routine that you fast maybe say once a week or maybe once in 2 weeks, I think it's not a bad idea, especially when you know that you're not so great the rest of the day and you can't because of certain reasons. Again, doing the fasting, there are a lot of ways to fast. So it's very important to fast right. I do not believe in juice fast or I do not believe in starvation fast. I personally feel fasting is a state where you give your body very small amount of food, but food that is nutritious and easily digestible. That's the whole idea. You don't want your body to get defensive. I've seen that there are people who can't fast and will suddenly try fasting, and then their body goes into a defensive and they fall sick. So try and fast if your body agrees to it, your mind agrees to it. As far as the religious connotation is concerned, I agree there was a time when you needed that connotation to be added to fasting to make people do it. It's easier to make everybody or somebody do something the moment you attach religion to it. That आप Tuesday को fast करोगे तो हनुमान जी खुश हो जाएंगे, fine. So that was a time, long time back, and it served its purpose for a long, long time. You chose a god and you fasted on that day. तो वो routine बन गया आपका कि आपने हफ्ते में एक बारी तो फास्ट कर लिया, एक भगवान को तो आप प्यार करते ही होगे. It's like that. But अब because this generation is very logical, and now we understand the science behind fasting, so there is no need to attach it to religious.
Savita, I have many doctor friends and they believe यार भगवान को भी खुश कर लेते हैं and अपनी body को भी, तो let's keep some fast.
There is no harm. Whatever works for you. If you feel you need that crutch of religion, go ahead. Whatever rocks your boat. It's right. Even if you can understand the science and logic behind it and fast, I'll be very happy. Because, I personally feel the moment for example, she said that when you're eating that apple and you know what that goodness that apple is doing for you, that's the beauty of it, Then, frankly, that apple will work far better inside your body. It's the same with fasting.
Right. I think Anjuru and Simran, both of them wants to add something, both of them.
Yeah.
So I would...
I cannot add any religious value towards fasting. So if I am fasting, I would be doing it for myself. If I feel I want to fast for today and I want to eat something which is very light, or if I want to consume the extra stored body fat in my body and I'm not eating anything on that particular day as a fast, that is something I would be going ahead with. But only if it suits me. I am not going to starve myself and faint in the gym saying I am on fasting today and I would be working out extra so that I burn those extra calories from my body or something like that. That is not workable. That is not something which is going to benefit anybody in the long run.
So Simran, your thoughts?
I think for me, fasting is like eating sattvic food for a period of time. हम लोग भूल गए हैं that the importance of sattvic food in our diets, because our body has different we have different body types, and sometimes sattvic food really helps, and that's why Navratras we are told to eat sattvic food. What we eat, अब क्या करते हैं लोग, फ्राइड फूड, आलू को फ्राई करके खा लेंगे, कुछ भी कर लेंगे बिकॉज़ हमने फास्ट रखा है. They forget the whole idea कि आपको दिया है ब्रेक एक देने के अपनी बॉडी को. But what they're doing is they're eating fried food. I see people eating fried food, fried आलू, वो मीठा से जो बनता है, तिल के लड्डू, उसमें शुगर भरी होती है, सब खा रहे हैं, but not eating actually what was told in the starting. They will try and exclude everything that is from normal diet, जो जमीन से आता है, जो भी concept होता है उसका, but eat everything, deep frying it, doing whatever they wish to. So fasting a concept ही बिगड़ गया है. For me, it's very important to give your body break on a regular basis, because right now our kidneys and liver, there's so much pressure already because of the kind of food we eat. Some toxins release कर ही नहीं पा रहे हैं. So hence, we need to give it a break. Knowing that हम starve करना, ये सब करना, I don't believe in that concept. But yes, eating sattvic food, getting rid of meat which takes time to process for a day or two in a month will actually help your body function better. So that's what I believe in.
Thank you. Anybody would like to add anything?
No, I think whoever planned the Navratras was a genius. Absolute genius. It comes twice a year. If you notice, it comes twice a year. Yes. And it comes at the changing season. Yes. And it gives you a diet which is gluten-free, and it's supposed to be light, not heavy, not the way we eat today. So all the grains allowed were gluten-free, so it gives your body complete break. So जब वो season transition होता है, for 7 days you eat really light and healthy, and you enter the next season as a new person, new body. So I think the whole concept was brilliant. We've only messed it up over the years.
Yeah, we have messed it up completely, yes.
Okay, great. So thank you everyone. Thanks for the great insight. Though I wanted to know just one food you actually rely on and you feel that that's the right food that you really rely on, I'll just quickly take one name and summarize the session. So I can start with Dr. Chhabra.
So these days I'm having a lot of avocado.
Okay.
So that's the food I'm having these days for the good fats. And yes, I love eggs. So I want to add that, especially the white portion of it.
Okay. Simran, yours.
Yeah, I think I'm relying on cashews. I think they are the best. So whenever I have any sugar cravings, or I want to get some quick energy, so I just have a handful of cashews. I think they are my go-to food these days. Yeah.
The brilliant mood boosters, cashews are brilliant mood.
Definitely, yes.
Kavita.
So Chiranjeev already mentioned one of my absolute favorites, eggs, but I eat them with the yolk. I love the yolk. So
I have one yolk.
Okay, I love the eggs. I mean, I think they're a complete food. So I'll give you another one, which is, people might find it very weird coming from a nutritionist. I love bananas. I think bananas are a complete food. They are a slow release energy food. The carbs that they have are a combination of different kind of sugars, which is really good for the body. There's a lot of fiber, a lot of nutrients, a lot of potassium. Trust me, whether you're on a diet or not, one banana a day, whatever age you might be, is the food to eat every day. I'm a huge fan of this particular food.
So am I. Anjali.
My go-to food, which I'm currently doing every day as a breakfast, is chia seed pudding with a lot of fruits, and it's made with either coconut milk or almond milk, and it's a very quick recipe because you just have to do it, like the immersion is done overnight, and obviously it gets ready in the morning. You can just have it right away going for a walk or going for jogging, or before going for your office work or something. Plus you get the seasonal foods, which is high in fiber and all the micronutrients. So that's like my go-to food.
So thank you all the panelists for a wonderful session and great insight, full session. So I'll quickly summarize. So it's very important to eat food by rotation. That's, I think, a couple of you have added. It's important to keep rotating your food. Fruits and vegetables, everything what you are consuming in a daily life. Add more and more fruits and vegetables. Prioritize your food. Be mindful what you are consuming and be mindful what you are cooking. Plan your days and meals and don't focus on diet. Focus on healthy eating. I think that's the major mantra of today's session. And when you are focusing on healthy eating, you need not to diet. You just need to be correctly what you are eating. So now, since pandemic is we are living in a pandemic time, so it's important now. The whole focus on health is back, and it's not important that bland food is always nutritious. That is what that we have learned today. Sometimes, not sometimes, the tasty and the yummiest food is important. It does not mean that you are indulging with junk. It's important that you are indulging with the healthy habits and healthy eatings. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Dr. Chhabra, Kavita, Anjali, and Simran taking time out for this session.
Pleasure.